The Williamsport Crosscutters 2024 Hot Stove Banquet was recently held at the Journey Hotel in downtown Williamsport in front of another sold-out crowd. The event raised over $12,000 for the Lycoming County United Way. At that event, former Williamsport Cubs broadcaster Chris Carlin was inducted into the Bowman Field Hall of Fame. Since his time in Williamsport, Carlin has enjoyed a lengthy broadcast career, including being the voice of Rutgers football for the last 20 years. He currently co-hosts Carlin vs. Joe weekday afternoons on ESPN Radio. Enjoy our hot stove interview with the newest Bowman Field Hall of Famer, ESPN Radio's Chris Carlin. Yes, indeed, our newest Hall of Famer, Bowman Field Hall of Fame. Chris, thanks for being here. Obviously, we go way back. We've even been roommates for a while, so we're going to try to keep the inside jokes here to a minimum. You talked about, how you got into sports and sports broadcasting, and I just have to say, a lot of times, and you even mentioned me up there. You mentioned me as whatever you say about me helping start the career. But I don't buy I don't buy into any of that stuff, because here's the deal. We had a position open, and I needed to hire somebody. I needed to find somebody with an ounce of talent who would work for free. You were the man for the job.
Yes, an ounce of talent working for free.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Why do you think ESPN hired me, for Pete's sake? Yeah.
You spent 2 seasons in Williamsport. What are some of your memories of being here?
I love the ballpark so much. It was great. And as I said, driving past it today, you can still, it's amazing how much it's been updated, and it looks fantastic. But the bones of what Historic Bowman Field has always been are still there. And I welled up a little bit passing it because, and honestly, when I get to see it now on the Classic every year, that's so awesome. Thinking about the guys from ESPN doing the game from the same booth that I worked from when I was, 22 years old and had no idea what I was doing. This was legitimately my first ever paid job in broadcasting. I got
not paid much.
No, I got paid $50 a game. And that was a fortune, though, at the time. It was an absolute fortune. And Gabe's right. I'd work the speed pitch. I'd be cooking sausages. I did whatever you needed to do here. And, I love this place. I always will.
Mind you, you worked for us before cell phones. So we all remember how much it cost to make long-distance calls. This guy had the biggest disparity in America between how much he made and how much he spent on long-distance calls. I mean, is that right or is that wrong?
Yeah, Gabe yelled at me a few times regarding the use of the company calling card. That's for sure. I don't know why that was, but
I think you were destined to make your living talking.
Probably so.
Yeah. What was it like to work on FAN? That should still be on. You maybe
so.
turned.
Check. I don't know.
He just turned it off.
No,
yeah.
I don't think so.
You know how these work? They're microphones.
Yeah.
You use one every day.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
I don't know what happened.
What was it like to work at FAN with Mike and the Mad Dog in really the heyday of that iconic show? You were the producer.
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, I got that job when I was 24 years old, which was absurd at the time. I see that video, and all I can think is, why are you covering that glorious head of hair with a hat? Because it's not going to be there all that much longer. And I lost it. I lost all my hair from the stress of working that show, but it was amazing. How many people really remember Mike and the Mad Dog and how good that show was?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just to give you a sense, these are 2 completely different people who were exactly the same off the air as they were on. Chris is a nut job, but that is him. And I'll give you a quick story about it. When I was producing the show, we would travel, and as I said, I've been to a lot of different events over the years that were amazing. World Series, going to the Super Bowl, stuff like that. So one year we're going to Indianapolis for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks and the Pacers. And we go to the hotel, and one of the rooms is not ready yet. And I go upstairs. As the producer, it's my job to make sure that everything's lined up. So Mike's room is not ready yet, and Mike is the gruffer of the two, by far. So I go upstairs, and they are sitting in Chris's room on the couch, and I open the door, and they are watching. Do you remember the movie The Horse Whisperer? And it was with Robert Redford and Kristen Scott Thomas. And there is a scene in this movie where Redford is breaking up with Kristen Scott Thomas. And I walk in the room, and this scene is going on. And I say, guys, listen, other room's not ready. Shh, shh. Okay. And I wait, scene finishes. Dog turns to Mike. Mike, listen. Redford did the right thing. Now, that woman is lost. He has got to break up with her. She has no idea. Absolutely right move. They were breaking it down like it was Knicks Pacers in somebody's relationship. And that's when I turned around and just walked out in disbelief. Like, this is what my life is now.
Then, my gosh, you were on the syndicated Imus in the morning show doing sports.
Yeah.
That had to be an experience.
Yeah, it was, to say the least. He was a piece of work for sure. But you know what? I'll forever be grateful to him. Don Imus gave me an incredible opportunity to do sports on that morning show and to give me exposure. And in 2007, as I said, my wife and I got married. And we got married at a place in New York City called John's Pizzeria. That's kind of what Chris was referencing. It was an old church that had converted to this pizzeria, like slash really, high-end pizzeria, so to speak. But I'm not going to lie, like during the ceremonies, there are legitimately pies coming out of the oven.
Yes, there were.
Which is perfect for me, really. And Ima started talking about it on the air and just ripping me to shreds over the fact that I was getting married in a pizzeria because he had gotten the invitation in the mail. And I'm like, okay, can we let this stop?
Never stops.
You're getting up at 4 a.m, never stops. 3 days later, I get a call from the restaurant. Hey, people are calling and asking to buy tickets to your wedding. Like, what? What? We legitimately had to, it's even absurd. Like, I had to get 2 friends who were New York City police officers to work security at my wedding because he kept talking about it and people wanted to come to it. And fine, come on in. What the hell do I care? There's pizza left for everybody.
It was something. While we communicate a lot, sometimes I wouldn't know what your next job was, and you just pop up somewhere, like on Imus. And then, you were doing Giants pregame shows on FAN, and the Giants win the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden, I'm a Giants fan. I have to watch the parade.
Yeah.
There's Chris Carlin on one of the parade floats. That had to be quite
insane.
A thrill.
It was insane. So I was covering the Giants, did pre and post game. Giants win the Super Bowl. They beat the undefeated Patriots in early 2008. And so 2 days later, they're having the parade. I'm on the linebackers float going through New York City in a place they call the Canyon of Heroes downtown. And every street you passed, it is 100 people deep, and they are going nuts for this. And Antonio Pierce, the current coach of the Raiders, and probably still to be coach, and a couple of the other linebackers are up there. And you just see these finely tuned athletes, and then me standing right behind them on this float. Like, is that guy working technical stuff? What is he doing up there right now? Nobody could kind of figure out who I was, but they kept yelling at me, and it was absolutely bizarre.
Tell us about the latest gig, which is Carlin versus Joe, weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN Radio. Joe Fortenbaugh, Pennsylvania native.
Yes.
Penn
Philly
State
guy.
grad. Tell us about the show.
First of all, I know this is not going to be a popular opinion. I am a Jersey guy. I was born and raised. I live in New Jersey. We are trained, as the voice of Rutgers now, we are trained to hate Penn State. There are 2 reasons why I like Penn State. Steve Jones, who is one of the best people I know, the voice of Penn State, and I think for my money is the best announcer in the Big Ten, period. And Joe, who is an incredible guy. And we have a lot of fun. Listen, no joke. I always kept a little mantra, whether it was in my phone or on a piece of paper on my desk, and it always said, nothing is too stupid. You can have as much fun as you want. I tell my bosses, if you let me be an idiot, we're going to be okay. And so I'm just the guy that realizes that I'm sitting up there and I am not splitting the atom talking about sports. So let's have some fun with it. Let's goof around. And with Joe, he gets me. He lets me be that idiot. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And there's also strong opinions. That I have always had strong opinions. And for whatever reason, the need to make sure that you know what I think, which really goes over big at home, as you can imagine. But it's at the same time, he is as fun a partner as I have worked with. He's fantastic, and we have a lot of fun. Noon to 3 Eastern, ESPN Radio.
That's right.
Sirius XM Channel 80 wouldn't kill you, I'm going to say.
You didn't have to bring this up here.
No, yeah.
Are you going to carry it everywhere now?
What I need is a chain so I can wear it around my neck. I will do that. I will absolutely do that.
Well, Chris, I wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we were up against the clock. We still got to talk to Teak. So we thank you for taking out your time out of what I know is a super busy schedule. So proud of everything that you have accomplished, and we here in Williamsport are proud to be part of your journey.
I will always be thankful to this town because you guys have been amazing over the years, and I love Williamsport. Thanks, Gabe.
Chris Carlin, Carlin versus Joe, noon to 3 weekdays, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80.